While I do agree that Alchemy, the stock plugin inside of Logic, can also do granular synthesis, but it lacks certain features which I was looking for. Parawave Rapid is one monster of a VST which not only covers all of the type of synthesizers but has 8 different layers of them. And the most amazing part, well, let me show you. Alright peeps, so here we are back in Logic and I have Parawave Rapid in front of me, and let's start off with looking at the layout of the overall VST. On the top, you have the brand logo and the version name. You have 3 macros. You have various presets already installed, but you have initialized. You have a CPU load meter. You have how many voices are in play, and you also have lastly played MIDI note that you had played earlier. You have a master control and a threshold and a meter. On the top left, you see a mixer section. This is the engaged section right now. You have 8 different layers and you have different levels and panning. You also have the control for compressor and the EQ, just a 3-band EQ, so that you can control the overall sound right from the mixer. Over here, you have the browser section with different kind of instruments and presets. And you have the keyboard range. This is essentially a MIDI keyboard layout with various notes, and you have a pitch bend and a mod wheel, which you can definitely map it to your MIDI controller. You have a pitch, you have various voices, delay and reverb, you have a volume modifier and a filter modifier, and then you have a master cutoff, resonance and envelope. Besides the mixer, you have 8 different layers, and these are 8 different windows with 3 different oscillators each. And this is the best part of Parawave Rapid. You can imagine you have 24 different oscillators to play around with. And the best part, all these are separate from each other. So anything that you do on the first layer, you can definitely copy it to the second, but you can create a whole new set of sounds on the second, third, fourth layer and so on. So you have endless possibilities. So now let's look at the layer window. You have 3 different oscillators with unison controls, detune, spread, bass and treble. You have semitones, you have sense, you have key tracking, and you have subsequent filter skipping. So you can essentially skip this oscillator to go into the filter section, and you can directly have that oscillator jump into the effects and then direct out. So that feature comes in handy when you just want one oscillator to go through the filter, but the second oscillator, probably you have a sine wave which you don't want to get affected by the filter section. You can just hit that button and it will skip. You have the effects type, and this is where you have endless possibilities. You have tube distortion, you have phase modulation, ring modulation, you have synchronization, phase bend. You can side A to B or C to B, sorry. You can mirror A and B. You have pulse width modulator, myriad of controls under this. You then have a balance control individually for all the 3 oscillators. You have a volume control, and these 2 controls are specific for a very amazing feature that this VST comes with, and I'll show you in a while. So stick around till the end of this video. So in order to change the wave tables, you have close to about 260 different wave tables inside of Parawave Rapid. So it's crazy, it's really crazy. You can go ahead and experiment with any kind of wave table. So this is how an organ sounds. You have a spectron, various wave tables. But let's stick with a basic wave shape, which is evident with any kind of VST. And in order to change the wave table over here, you have a saw wave. You just need to use the morph. So it goes to the square, the triangle, and then a sine. And the best part of what I love about Parawave is that you have such amazing fine controls over the morphing as well. And if you click on this, you have a 3D, somewhat of a 3D wavetable visualization. So you can essentially modulate the morphing so that it goes from a square to a saw to square and sine, triangle. So it's crazy, it's literally crazy. You have a phase modulation and a randomness, and that's about it in the oscillator section. You have 3 of them, so essentially these are duplicate of each other. Another amazing feature about Parawave Rapid is that whenever you hover the cursor over any of the parameters, you get a quick guide, and this really comes in handy when you're just starting out with synthesizers, or you don't know a few parameters which are new to you. Moving on to the right, we have a filter section with different kind of filters. You have right from low pass 6 dB to 24 dB, high pass, peak. You have a multi-notch, a notch. You have extreme low pass, you have analog low pass, you have a comb filter, you have a formant filter as well. You have a cutoff frequency, a treble, resonance, envelope and key follow controls, and that's about the filter section. You can disengage and engage the filter section as you please. Next to that, we have an insert section where you can add in different kind of elements like distortion, overdrive. There is a feature called time lag as well, which is pretty interesting, and then you have controls over that. So if you have tube distortion, you have drive controls. If you have a bit crusher, you have the mix and the crush controls and the rest of it. Next to that, you have a mix section which essentially defines the relationship between the two. So you have filter and then insert, or the insert and then filter. So you can change the order of that, and then you can adjust the gain and the panning. Below that, you have one single window which has 4 different envelopes and 4 different LFOs, and then you have a sequence option as well. So this is somewhat of a gate effect that you might find in FL Studio as well, but this really comes in handy. You have multiple controls with different kind of shapes, and you can essentially select whatever you want, or noise or a saw wave. So you can draw in anything that you want, and you have finer controls on the bottom as well. Next to that, we have an arpeggio inbuilt where you can custom draw your own arpeggio or use any of the presets that we have. Then you have a shuffle option and a length option as well, and then you can disable the arpeggio and change the order. You can change the octaves and the rate as well. You can change the pattern, you can draw in your own pattern as well. So the possibilities are endless. You can route envelopes, LFOs, sequences, and you have 32 different controls, and you can change the amount of modulation. You can also change the source over here, and you can change the target as well. So you have these controls on the bottom so that you can tweak it later if you want to. Next to the arpeggio, we have a voicing control where you can adjust the glide and the glide time as well, and you have somewhat of a oscilloscope so that you can see how the wave shape is looking. So that's pretty handy. Below this, we have the best section of Parawave Rapid, which is the FX section. It has crazy amount of FX and amazing sounding reverbs. So let's look at one of them. I am especially a fan of Solar. Let's just delete the arpeggio. Let's shape up this. Let's increase the voices. Let's remove this envelope. There you have it. So crazy amount of effects right there. So you can have 7 effects running at a time, but you also have presets available for each one of them. So if you're just starting out and you just want to use presets, these are some amazing presets. And an amazing part about Parawave Rapid, that the FX section can be used as a standalone VST. So even if you're using, let's say, a piano, and you can load in Parawave Rapid FX as your FX chain, you can use all of the effects inside of Parawave Rapid and not use any of the oscillators. So you have a Rapid FX which you can load in over any of the plugin, let's say piano, or any other VST, synth VST that you are using or are comfortable with, but want to use the FX section of Parawave Rapid, you can do that as well. And now to the best part of Parawave Rapid, which I absolutely love about this VST, is that you can use it as a granular synthesis and you can create some amazing textures. So Parawave Rapid has some amazing factory samples which you can use to start off with a granular synthesis, but you can load in your own samples as well. Just like I had created one sample of me playing the guitar note. So you go ahead to the FX type and you select granular synthesis, and now you can shape up this sample of a guitar note being played to a complete pad. So let's create that. Let's increase the greens. Let's increase the length, the randomness. If we increase the detune, it's gonna sound too crazy. So let me play a C chord. And now we can change the phase so that it's somewhere here, and then you can increase the randomness as well. Now what I can do is that I can take the LFO and put it to the morph and change the rate so that it's ever so slightly changing. Take another LFO, put it to random, and it just spreads. Increase the volume a bit. And decrease the rate. And let's shape up the attack, the decay. Let's have a slow attack. There you go. Now you can also do a LFO to the cutoff section. The C is at cutoff, so let me make it bipolar so that it's just ever so slightly opening according to the cutoff. Use it. 6 dB per octave is fine, and increase the master a bit. There you have amazing sounding ambient pads. And if I disengage the reverb, this is how it sounds. But the reverb, it has that ambient pad feel. Now you can go ahead and use various effects like distortion, and let's use a bit crusher and increase the jitter a bit. so it has that sparkle effects. And then let's add some chorus, not a lot. Let's do one last delay. Let's do an eighth. All right, feedback is less, mix is less. Just want this area, and let's introduce a bit of modulation. There you have it. This is the best part about Parawave Rapid. You can just load in a sample, use it as a granular synthesis, but the granular synthesis for Parawave Rapid is crazy. In fact, this is why this VST was made, because this is its USP. It creates amazing greens, amazing spread across your sample, and the best part is that usually in a lot of granular synthesis, when you load in a sample and you play the note, it changes the pitch in a very weird way. It stretches. So if you're going down the pitch, the sample would be stretched, and if you're going up the pitch, it would be pretty short. That doesn't happen with Parawave Rapid. It stretches equally, so no matter what you play, the lower note or go up an octave, the note is not getting stretched, so the sample remains intact. And that's the best part about Parawave Rapid granular synthesis. So there you have it, guys. That's Parawave Rapid for you. It's an amazing VST. You have so much to do, so much to explore. Even I haven't yet fully explored it, but you can do crazy amount of experimentations with this. So if you like this VST and are into sounds like this, go ahead and support the creator, because Parawave has created an amazing VST. And again, I'm telling you, this is not sponsored at all, though I wish, Parawave, if you're listening, please do. But this is a genuine feedback, and I have been using this VST for everything. I haven't purchased any VST after this. Trust me on that. I just use Vital and Parawave Rapid for everything. And apart from that, I have an analog synthesizer, so I don't need any more VSTs. But to use as additive synthesis, frequency modulation, phase modulation, granular synthesis, this is your one-stop shop. There are a few videos from the creator itself, so go ahead and read the reviews, and I'm pretty sure you won't regret buying this VST. I am sure of it. Okie dokie, guys, that about wraps it up for this video. I hope you found this helpful, and I hope you find this insightful and could make a better judgment when you're finding that right VST. As always, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and if you like what I do here and want to see much more videos like this, support the channel by subscribing. It goes a long way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, cheers.